Hi students. In today's session, we are going to discuss about introduction to web technologies or UI technologies. So in web technologies or else in UI technologies, user interface technologies, we are going to discuss about HTML, then HTML5, then JavaScript, and then we'll discuss about CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM, document object model, all these will be there. And we'll see a few examples related to Angular and a few examples related to React.js also we'll see. Only to know like what they are, why we are using, only basics. Okay. So, but the whatever is there in this syllabus, like we are going to discuss in depth we'll discuss. And while working with the like a course here, you will discuss about all HTML5 tags, JavaScript will discuss in depth, okay, and jQuery also, then CS, Bootstrap, everything is in depth only. Only Angular and React.js, only few examples we'll see. Like for 3 days, like that we'll discuss. So this is UI technologies with project. So we'll see project also. We'll create a website with multiple pages, many pages, and we'll see how the integration is done. Then how to use HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM, all these in the project. So we are going to do the implementation also. And this course duration is about 45 days. So within 45 days, I'll try to complete. And after that, project will be there. So project, I'll tell how to work on it. So you can do the project, because we'll see many examples. What all examples we'll see, you can put all together and you can do the project. I will be doing the coding, but I will assist students to do the projects. So here when we are working with UI technologies, or when you work with web technologies, so in internet, in World Wide Web, nearly 6 crores websites are there. So every day, 1,000 sites are hosted or published in internet. Okay, and in internet, we can see thousands of servers. Thousands of servers are connected to internet. Like in every server, some sites will be there, and they are managed by that server. And while working with websites here, while working with websites and internet, we can say client system and server system. We used to say like a client and server. So client system has a browser, and server system has the web server is there. Web server is there here. So while working with browser, here when we say browser, browser is an application. Browser is an application, like Notepad is an application, and then like Paintbrush is an, all are applications only. Browser is an application used to open the sites. And here you can see web server. So in server system, we can see web server. Web server is a software or an application used to store and to run the websites. Like some applications will run directly on the desktop. We can run, okay. But websites are also applications. Websites are also applications, but they will run through web server. Okay. So web server is also what application. It will be in the server system. So for Java websites, Tomcat web server is used. Tomcat web server is used, and for .NET websites, IIS web server is used. IIS means Internet Information Services, and for PHP websites, Apache web server is used. Apache web server is used, and for Django websites, like Python related Django websites, then Django development server is there. So when you work with server side technologies, like their servers are used. Okay. Now here you are learning UI technologies or web technologies. Like when you learn UI technologies, like client-side technologies, like here we are not going to use server. While learning, while practicing, will not use a web server is not used. But if any student is learning server-side technologies like JSP, servlets, then ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, Django, or Ruby on Rails, or Node.js, all these, then technologies server-side technologies can be used. Okay, so when we are working with server-side technologies, web server we have to use while learning, while practicing. Okay, and while developing applications, websites, web server is mandatory with server-side technologies. Okay, and here when you work with the websites here, so websites contains two pages here, like static pages and dynamic pages will be there. So static and dynamic pages are there. So when we say static pages, HTML pages are called as static pages, or we can say read-only pages. So these pages are controlled or managed by the browser in the client system. So managing means if you get website in the browser, you can move from one page to another page. You can see the control like navigation. You can see here. We can see the navigation. Okay, and while working with the HTML pages, when you work with HTML pages, then they are used to display same information to all the users accessing the website. Same information like news, advertisements, images, like some information will be there which is common to all. Okay, examples are a home page like index page, then about us, contact us, about us page, contact us page, then a site map. That page will show information about the site, like what all pages are there, what all contents are there. They are static pages only. Okay, so if you create HTML page or if you create HTML file, page is nothing but a file. If you create HTML file, then here we can use other client-side technologies, other client-side frameworks we can use. Like here, a VB script, then JavaScript is there, and next is CSS, cascading style sheet, and next one is jQuery and Bootstrap, and next one is Angular and React JS, DOM, document object model. Like all these are client side. All these will execute in browser. So along with HTML page or HTML file, we can use all these. Okay. So the difference between VB script and JavaScript is VB script works only in Internet Explorer. JavaScript works in all the popular browsers. It will works. And here CSS is there here, like CSS cascading style sheets is there, and jQuery, Bootstrap, all these are client side, works with HTML. And Angular, we can use it as both front end and back end. Front end means client side, back end means server side. Okay, so here I'm telling about the front end, client side. Angular works as a front end and back end. Okay, front end means we can do designing all this. So Angular, in Angular we can say Angular framework. So that is used as front end. In Angular we can use Node.js. Node.js is used as server side. Okay, so in Angular we are going to use TypeScript. So it is advanced. So TypeScript is it is a superscript of JavaScript. So when you work with the TypeScript, it is like other modern programming languages, like what all we do in Java. We can do that in TypeScript, like creating classes, creating interfaces, like all the features will works in TypeScript. And React JS is also used as a front end, and it is used to create reusable components. So whenever you want to reuse the same code, same content in different locations in the website, in different pages in the website, then React JS we can use it. And a document object model is there. So this is also used as a client side. All these are used. And here when we are working with websites, we can see dynamic pages here. Dynamic pages. Dynamic pages are controlled or managed by the web server in the in the server system. Dynamic pages are controlled or managed by the web server in the server system. And in dynamic pages, from user to user, information will change. So it will not give same information to all the users. Like for example, if I am working with Gmail, in a Gmail nearly 32 crores accounts are there. If I connect to Gmail with my account, it will show only my mails in inbox. Only my mails I'll get. Server can identify each and every user. So it is giving dynamic data from the server. We are getting dynamic information from the server. Okay. So in dynamic pages, from user to user, information will change. And while working with these dynamic pages, when we are working with these dynamic pages here, then in that case, while working with these dynamic pages, then examples are login page, registration page, then change password, then password recovery. All these are the examples of dynamic pages. And when you are working with a Gmail, after login is successful, we'll get a single page application will get. So in a single page application, we can do the everything, the work that we want to do there. So instead of moving from one page to another page, then instead of jumping from one page to another page in the website, like in one particular page, we can do everything. That is called as like a single page application we can develop. This is single page application. Here you can see quick launch bar for quick navigation. Okay, and here you can see the tabs, primary, social, promotion, all these. And here this is dynamic page, because when I connect with my account, it will show the details here. It will show the values. The values are displayed. Okay, and here when we are working with if you want to create a single page application, then we can use Angular. We can use using Angular. It is developed in server side technologies. Also, we can develop. That possibility is there. So to create a dynamic pages, we have to use a server side technologies. Like we can say server side code, or we can say backend technologies. Backend means which runs in a web server. Okay, browser can understand HTML, VB script, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, Angular, React, DOM. Browser can understand all these, but browser cannot understand server-side technologies. Browser cannot understand server-side code. Okay, so server-side technologies are PHP, then JSP, then servlets, and here ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, then Django, Ruby on Rails, and here we'll use uh, a Node.js. Like all these are server-side technologies only. These are used to create dynamic pages, which will communicate with the server, sending the data, receiving data. All these can be done. Okay, so like some may have doubts, like HTML pages are already there, then again why dynamic pages? So here difference is there here. So when you work with websites in internet, they will work with HTTP or HTTPS protocol. So HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. In internet, we can see many protocols which are used to transfer the data, and they'll provide security also. Okay, so many protocols we can see, like HTTP, FTP, TCP, UDP, so file transfer protocol, then TCP, transmission control protocol, user datagram protocol, then simple object access protocol. Many are there. Okay, HTTP protocol is very old protocol. It is 40 years old. Still, we are using in internet. In that network, we are using in internet in network. In that network, we are using. So network means it can be intranet or extranet or internet. So intranet means LAN, local area network. Extranet means MAN, metropolitan area network. Internet means wide area network, network between countries. Okay, so here when we work with the websites in internet, like for example here, if I'm opening this site here, then here you can see this. Here it is saying not secure, it is giving HTTP protocol, you can see. So this website is running with HTTP protocol. Here you can see not secure. If you work with the Gmail, it is running with HTTPS. Here you can see log symbol is there here. So the data is safe. Whatever data we send in network, the data is safe here. Okay, so when we are developing websites, default is HTTP protocol only. So you can ask internet service provider, like those who are doing web hosting or publishing website in internet, the companies or the websites. Like for example, we can see pythonanywhere.com, where we'll do hosting, and godaddy.com. Many are there hosting sites. So the companies who are doing all this, we can ask them to run our website with HTTPS protocol, so that inbuilt security will be there. The data can be sent safely in the network. Okay, and when we are working with HTTP or HTTPS protocol, like we'll call it as a stateless protocol. Stateless protocol means it cannot remember the values given in the pages in the website, and it cannot remember the information given in the pages in the website. In websites, we'll give lot of information in web pages. Okay, like username, password, then account number, credit card number, PIN number. Like we used to give all these. Okay, so when we are using all these here, when we do all this, then in that case, if you want to store information in the, if you want to store information, and then if you want to store access it, HTTP protocol, we cannot use it. So HTTP protocol or HTTPS cannot maintain history. It cannot remember data even for 1 minute also. Even for 10 seconds also, it will not remember. Okay. So then you may be having doubt why we are using it. So HTTP or HTTPS are a communication protocol. It is used to transfer the data in network. Okay, for that we are using it. And here HTTP and HTTPS cannot maintain information, cannot store the data. Then in that case, to maintain information, to store the data, web pages, values, or website information, and reusing them or maintaining the data across pages in the website. If you want to do all this, then we can store information, web pages, values in the client system or else in the server system. So we can maintain the values. We can store web pages, values, or website information in client system in HTML pages or else in dynamic pages. In HTML pages, we can maintain the data using web storage in HTML5. Okay, and we can use cookies in JavaScript. So we can maintain the data. We can store the data in browser in the client system. That we can do, and we can store information in the server in dynamic pages. So when we store web pages values or web pages website information in dynamic pages, it is saved in the server. Okay, so If you are storing web pages values or website information in HTML pages, using HTML pages, then that is stored in browser, that is stored in client system, then that information is not safe. You can store limited data, accessing the data is slow. But if you store the same information in through dynamic pages in the server, then the data is safe. Whenever we work with confidential data or sensitive data, then in that case we can work with then we can use we can work with we can use dynamic pages. Okay, confidential data or sensitive data means passwords, account number, credit card number, PIN number, like all this is should be very confidential. Then we can store that information in the server. So data is safe. You can store large amount of data. Accessing the data is fast. All these advantages are there. Okay, so to create a dynamic pages to store the data, then we have to use server-side technologies we have to use. And then with the dynamic pages, another use is there. That is, it can integrate with the database. If you want to connect web pages with the database like MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, then with other databases, we can integrate. And then we can send the data to the database in server, and we can access the database from the server. Like all these, we can do it. Whenever you want to store information permanently in the server, or like user details or shopping details or transactions details, then it should be connected with database. Then it is possible with dynamic pages or server side technologies are used. And here when we are working with HTML pages, so HTML pages are used for designing the web pages. So for designing the web pages, HTML is used. So in our classes, we'll discuss all the HTML tags. HTML5 tags we'll discuss. Every HTML5 tag we are going to discuss in our classes, and then we'll discuss about like JavaScript. We'll discuss here. Like here we'll discuss about manual JavaScript. Manual JavaScript means how you learn a separate language like C language, writing the program, then executing. Then all those we are going to discuss in JavaScript. That we are calling it as manual JavaScript, writing the programs, executing. Okay, so there you learn about data, JavaScript features, data types, operators, if condition, for loop, while loop, do while, then arrays, functions, and then we'll discuss about controls, control events. Then we'll discuss about event handlers, and we'll discuss about JavaScript objects, then exceptions, and then we'll discuss about cookies. Like we'll discuss many in JavaScript. Complete in-depth JavaScript you are going to learn. Okay, and you learn how to create objects in JavaScript. Then all these we'll discuss. We'll discuss about all the important functions in JavaScript. Okay, so here let us say when you are working with HTML files, let us say here HTML file is there. So this is the HTML file or HTML page used for registration here. Let us say this is user registration page, and if HTML page is designed like this, we can use JavaScript. So we can use JavaScript in HTML page, in HTML file for validations. Like if you want to give some conditions, so that if you want to send valid or meaningful data to the server, then we can use JavaScript on HTML pages, in HTML files. Like we can say username should be minimum 6 characters, and password, confirm password should be same, and password should be strongly typed password, which is a combination of lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and then we can say like it is lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and then and then we can say like it contains special characters, numbers, all these can be there. Email ID should be valid email ID, and a phone number should be digits, and like 10 digits, like that. Depends on the requirement. We can give the validations. So JavaScript is not only for validations, like we can do lot of things in JavaScript, like text effects, text animation, then taking the data, then transferring to some other location in the site. All these we can do with a JavaScript. So using JavaScript, like many are developed using JavaScript, like Knockout.js, then Angular.js, then React.js, jQuery. All these are developed using JavaScript only. So when you are, if you are good in manual JavaScript, like if you learn it as a language, then later when you learn jQuery or Angular.js or Knockout.js or Node.js, any other things, all these are developed using JavaScript only. Then it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, and here you can see about CSS. You can see here. So you will be learning about CSS 3, and here CSS means we'll call it as a formatting language used for designing HTML pages. Okay, CSS is also used on HTML page or HTML file. So it is used to give the same design or same layout for multiple pages in the website. So to make all the pages consistent or uniform, to make all the pages similar to one another, then CSS we can use. So we'll create a CSS file with required style, and we'll use it in multiple pages in the website. So when you open any site, popular sites, like all the pages will look in the similar way, like background colors, text colors, borders, margins, alignment, font name, font style, font size. All these we can use. All these we can use it with like all these are used in the pages. So when you work with popular sites, then we'll feel like we are in the same set even when we move from one page to another page. Like if I'm working with some particular site, and if I move from one page to another page, if I feel like I'm entering into some other site, then that should not be correct. Like in Gmail, in Facebook, like all the colors, everything is same only, style is same, but content will change. Like when we work there, we'll feel like we are in the same site. That the feel we should bring to our website. It may have 20 pages or 30 pages, like all should have the same design. Okay, so like creating one page big, one page small, like height and width are different, like that we should not do that. So whenever you want to do all these, then CSS is used. So in CSS we are going to discuss about all the selectors, advanced selectors, and then we are going to see many examples, and we'll see how to download CSS template from internet using in our sites, like how it is done in real time, that we'll see. And while working with HTML5, we'll discuss many tags like audio tag, video tag, then iframes, like many are there. We'll discuss all the tags in HTML5. And here you can see jQuery is there. So jQuery is also client side, works in HTML pages or HTML files. So jQuery means it is a collection of JavaScript files. So it is used to develop rich websites. Whenever you want to develop rich web applications or websites or web pages, then jQuery we can use it. So whenever you want to give a rich look for the pages in the website, okay, then jQuery is used, because like every time we'll work with repeated controls. Whenever you want to give a grand look for the pages in the website with the new controls or with the new designs, then with jQuery we can do it, because jQuery contains many components and many controls will be there, jQuery controls. Then all we'll discuss in jQuery. We are going to discuss about the basics, jQuery HTML, jQuery CSS, jQuery AJAX, asynchronous JavaScript and XML, jQuery FX animation, then jQuery widgets controls. like all we'll discuss. Okay, and then in a jQuery, we are going to discuss about how to work with like uh, work with other sites, like downloading the files, using them. All these we'll discuss. Okay, so jQuery means we are using in our websites. We are using, like some may say like jQuery is outdated, but it is used in Bootstrap. Okay, jQuery we are using in Bootstrap. We are using in other files also. We'll use it. So here when you work with Bootstrap here, so Bootstrap is also client-side framework. All these are client-side only. Whatever I'm saying now, all these are client-side. Works with HTML files or HTML pages. Here we can see Bootstrap is there. So Bootstrap is a client-side framework. It contains collection of CSS files and collection of jQuery files, JavaScript files. So it is used to do designing easily. For easy designing, we are using it. So while working with Bootstrap, you'll be learning about different selectors. In Bootstrap, selectors are already there. In CSS, you will learn how to create a selector and how to call the selector, creating and calling. But in Bootstrap, selectors are already there. Like we'll be working with like container class, then jumbotron class, button related classes, form related classes, which are used to change the appearance of the buttons. Like buttons will be in gray color. If I want to show buttons in different colors, and if I want to give spacing between controls in the form, and if I want to work with the navigation bar, with one bar will get, and it will give the menus in the bar. In many websites we'll see navigation bar will be there with items or menus all, and we'll discuss about grid also. So grid means we are creating a page which can run in runs with in devices which are having different screen sizes. Like for example, laptop, desktop, tablet, PC, smartphone, all will have different screen sizes. Okay, so here we'll not use a then in that case, whatever page we design, that page should run in different screen sizes: laptop, desktop, tablet, PC, smartphone. That we'll discuss in a grid. In many sites in real time, when you develop real time projects, websites, then we have to use grid. All these will be there. Okay, and here when we are working with a DOM, document object model, it has it works. We are going to work with the document object in JavaScript. JavaScript has many functions will be there, objects and functions. So in document object, we'll discuss about functions in document, object, and it is used for communication between HTML and JavaScript. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So whatever values we give in HTML to access them, values given in CSS if you want to access them, then JavaScript is used. It is used to interact between HTML and CSS. For HTML and CSS, we are going to use it. And here when we are working with when we work with Angular, like we'll see the integration here. Okay, so in our classes we are going to discuss in detail about HTML, HTML5 types, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM, all this. And for Angular and React.js, we'll see the theory part and we'll see some examples to understand like how it is going to work. We'll see examples using TypeScript also. All these we are going to discuss. Okay, and here when you are learning all these in 45 days or else in 50 days with project, when you learn all these, then here I'll be using a notepad. I will use notepad and you will use a browser like Google Chrome or any other browser I'll use. Okay, so when you learn all these, then we are not going to use web server. For UI technologies or web technologies, for client-side technologies, web server is not required. For server-side technologies, while learning also, web server is required. Okay, but if I develop a website, let us say, if I develop a website using UI technologies or web technologies, or let us say client-side technologies, And if it is hosted or published in internet, then their server is required. In internet, like a website may have only static pages, or website may have only dynamic pages, or website may have static and dynamic pages. But in internet, in live, like a web server should be there. Okay, so with the help of web server, the site will run. So the site can have anything, static pages or dynamic pages, or both can be there. So when I'm giving examples here in HTML and other concepts, like here we'll not use internet connection for all the examples. Like we should not think that from first example, internet connection is required. Internet connection is required for some examples. I'll tell when we should use like online internet connection is required. Okay, so in our examples, we are not going to use web server. Okay, while learning, but when it is published in internet, it is required. And while working with the examples and all, here we are not using internet connection for all the examples. For some examples, it is required. And here my laptop will work as a client as well as server while working with websites. Okay, while developing the website, it works as client as well as server while working or while developing websites. But when it is hosted in internet, then we'll say this is server, this is client. Like all these we are going to see. So in my classes every day I will send you the notes. Here you can see complete notes is there. Here you can see complete notes about UI technologies, then like HTML, JavaScript, and here you can see Bootstrap examples are there. Notes is there, and React JS notes. All these I'll send. And jQuery notes is there, complete notes is there, day wise with examples it is there. Okay, and then every day we'll send you the recorded video to your mail IDs so that you can practice easily. Okay, so any doubts students? If you have any doubts you can ask. So I'm stopping now, and tomorrow I'll give introduction to HTML. I'll give introduction. Then we'll see the theory part. Then we'll see one or two exams. Slowly we'll move to the other concepts. Okay.